Dave, and you're weird still. Thanks for coming and thanks for checking us out. I don't know what I'm saying right now. This show focuses on wrestling, if you can't tell, and pop culture. That's why Deadpool's here, Tanuki Mario, Diddy Kong, and all the wrestlers.
We got Baby Umaga. Oh wait, Sokoa.
Yeah, and the reason I have Deadpool on the table is because I saw the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I want to watch it.
And it looks amazing. I can't wait to see it. A lot of good movies coming out this year. I still want to see Godzilla and Kong. I want to see the new Ghostbusters movie. There's a lot of stuff coming out. See that? Right there. We have something going on behind the hard camera, and we're going to talk about Iron Claw, and we've got the tragedy and triumph of WCCW going on, and we're thinking about the casting of who these guys looked like in the movie, and some weren't that good.
Dude.
But
and we're going to talk about the biggest thing that they left out, and a lot of stuff that they changed from what actually happened.
Yeah. So a little bit of wrestling news. WWE released a few people. Most notably for me, Cameron Grimes. I liked Cameron Grimes when he was Trevor Lee in TNA, and I thought he did really good in NXT. I knew when they brought him up to the main roster they weren't going to do anything with him, which sucks because he's a good character. But Zion Quinn from NXT, Jinder Mahal. I was kind of surprised about Jinder Mahal because they put him in that spot with The Rock earlier in the year. Veer Mahan, Xia Li, and Von Wagner from NXT. There's probably going to be more. It's what they do. And you can't say it's a cost-cutting measure anymore because that company's making money hand over fist.
Oh, hell yeah.
The biggest gate ever for WrestleMania. The most merchandise sold ever at WrestleMania.
It's just you guys getting rid of people that you don't think are...
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid, but what are you going to do?
It is.
There's a new women's champ in WWE. Becky Lynch, because of Rhea Ripley's injury, she won a Battle Royal.
I still say Liv Morgan should have won it.
Yeah, I'm just glad Nia Jax didn't win it. So, that makes me happy.
Oh, no, that would have made you happy that Nia won.
No, it wouldn't have. And there's a new NXT champion, happened last night as we were recording. Trick Williams defeated Ilya Dragunov. I believe that means Ilya Dragunov is coming up to the main roster in the draft, and he seems like the kind of guy that's a Triple H guy. If you've ever watched any of Dragunov's matches, same kind of feel as Gunther, just that hard-hitting style. So. And
check out NXT UK. I forget what episode it was. Him versus Dragunov for the world NXT UK world title.
Yeah, they did it a couple times actually.
And I'm talking about the first match that they did.
Yeah. AEW Dynasty happened over the weekend as well, but he hasn't seen it yet. I have, so once he sees it, we'll do a full review. But I have to say, Bryan Danielson against Will Ospreay, one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. I'm just going to say that right now. Let's see. You want to go into Iron Claw now?
Sure.
All right. So, the glaring omission in Iron Claw, but to say this right off the bat, great movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. I don't think it's that kind of movie where I watch it a second time, but great movie. No Chris Von Erich. He's one of the brothers. Even if he just made an appearance and you never talked about him again, but to just glaringly leave out one whole brother just seemed, especially when you talked about the brother that got electrocuted and died before all the other ones were born. Like, what? Huh? Let's see. One thing I pointed out to him that he didn't remember, Kerry Von Erich's accident with the motorcycle did not happen while he was NWA World Champion. He was only NWA Champion for like a week.
And it happened 2 years after he was the NWA Champion.
Oh, did you look that up?
Yeah. Actually, it was in the video I sent you.
Okay, and the person they picked to play Ric Flair...
Oh, my...
Wow! That was just... How did you even do a screen test with that guy and be like, yep? How Chavo Guerrero was in that movie. He knew Ric Flair. he was the wrestling advisor on that movie, and he didn't even say, this guy sucks. MJF, who was in the movie,
he should have played Nate.
He would have been a better. I think he would have been good as Gino Hernandez too, but he should have been. Come on, man. But like we said, bad casting for Flair and Kerry Von Erich. Nothing against the guy, good actor. He did good in the part, but his physique looked nothing like Kerry, and his face looked nothing like Kerry. If anything, Zac Efron looked more like Kerry than he did Kevin. So,
and the one that played Kerry looked more like Kevin.
Yeah. It was the guy who played David, great.
Yep.
The guy who played Mike did really good.
Yes, he did.
The guy who played Fritz nailed it. I think they should have kind of aged him a bit as it went on, because he looked the same age like
within the whole movie.
Yeah, for 40 years or whatever, but.
And they did leave out where his wife and him split up, and he died a couple years later.
Oh, I didn't know about that, but it was like I said, Iron Claw. It's a really good movie. Even if a person's not a wrestling fan, the story is really compelling. But when you're a wrestling fan and you know the history of it, pointing out the glaring mistakes in it, well, not mistakes, but omissions, like how you just leave out another brother. Like, I read that it was like, it would have been too much tragedy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, you talked about it being a curse.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you include that? You included every other death in the whole thing, but you don't include that one. That just, I don't understand.
They did gloss over another fact, is when Kerry shot himself, it wasn't that close to the house.
Yeah, it was back at a tree that they all used to play in when they were kids.
Yep.
And that's the same place that Chris killed himself as well. He went to that same spot. So, let's see, what else? Do you remember the little thought experiment I came up with? A 1980s WWF version of the Four Horsemen. What were your picks?
Ted DiBiase.
Okay. Who is he in the role of, though? Is he taking Flair's spot? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. Well, I'm going to write that down. DiBiase.
I have to say the muscle has to be Andre.
Okay.
For Arn Anderson.
So he's the enforcer? All right. Okay, I got you.
I got to go with Virgil, too.
You're going with Virgil, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't care which role he plays in.
All right.
Because that would have been cool. And was IRS around in the 80s with WWF or no?
He was not.
No.
Well, he wasn't IRS. He was Mike Rotundo with Barry Windham for 8 months. But
then, no. It make me think back, because he was actually going to be my pick.
Well, I mean, he was there in the 80s, so you can pick him if you want.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, we'll put Rotunda. All right. So you went completely different than I did. So, my Ric Flair position, Roddy Piper. You want a guy that can go in the ring and can talk, Roddy Piper. I mean, if you watched any of his stuff from the Mid-Atlantic in the 80s, he can wrestle. watch the 1992 match from WrestleMania with Bret Hart. The man can wrestle, and he can talk his ass off. The enforcer role, Paul Orndorff. Come on, Mr. Wonderful, that jacked up, intense dude, yeah. And then you got Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect. Rounding out the four, just perfect WWF 80s Four Horsemen. And all of them going up against Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan brings his friends in. That's a perfect reason to form the Mega Powers and bring other guys in. Maybe you have that, that's when you turn Demolition babyface, or you turn the Hart Foundation babyface, and there's a lot of stuff you could have done at that point.
But do you like what I came up with?
No, yours is good. I like DiBiase in that role is perfect.
Yes.
I mean, I was thinking DiBiase, and then I'm like, but I really like him as the $1 Million Man.
Right.
So I went with Piper,
But they could have still done not call it the Four Horsemen, but call it something else there, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be the Horsemen, but I was thinking that kind of a faction. So, but I like doing stuff like that, like we did the Batman casting and stuff. But I just thought that was...
We still got to do it for any era.
Yeah, we do.
And the one I said, the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. So, let's see. I got some... You didn't bring anything to show off today because you had stuff going on.
Yep.
So, I showed you this. I went to an XWA show, so I got you an XWA shirt.
Yay!
And one guy that I saw wrestle there was Blaze Haram. And I bought one of his bandanas. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so... and which do you want, yellow or green?
Green!
Okay, that's Fox Vineyard's new shirt.
Sweet!
If you don't know who Fox Vineyard is, he's on YouTube. Google him. He's a good wrestler. He's got a really good, he's got half of his head shaved.
And I have him on Facebook.
This is a motivation shirt for me because it won't fit me yet, but... Oh yeah, I forgot that he's got one of his things in there.
Oh, here we go. Now we can actually show up.
There you go. But I also have a few things to show off. Thanks to you for snagging it. I mean,
You're welcome.
He didn't buy it for me, but he snagged it for me. Casey Jones and Raphael from the from the first movie. Jose Canseco back. Tell me you didn't pay money for this. One of my favorite movies of all time. At the XWA show I was at, Mikey Cheese was there, and he had a merch table.
Cheese!
So I bought
I have it.
I have an NWO Hulk Hogan Superstars.
And let's show off the shirt.
Yeah, go ahead. I like it. I like it a lot.
That is pretty cool.
That's cool. And then a Undertaker. I bought this from an Undertaker Superstars. And then this, I had to buy this.
Of course.
One of my favorites. This guy, I think, was one of the MVPs of the 80s and early 90s in the WWF. Autographed Tito Santana Hall of Fame figure. This is going on the shelf. I love this. So
nice.
Thank you, Mikey Cheese, for that. One wrestler that was there, I'm going to talk about the thing as a whole. Oh, I forgot this one. This one I didn't buy from Mikey Cheese, but I had to own it.
Doink the Clown!
Doink the Clown. Awesome stuff.
And that's my favorite Doink the Clown, 93.
Yes.
The heel.
Yep, and you can tell with the picture on the thing. The American Avenger is a wrestler for XWA, and he was selling masks at the table, so I got this for you. Thought you would like that. Yeah, I think they're kids' masks, so I don't know how well it's going to fit. Well, yeah, I guess it works. Kind of. That covers your face pretty good, so I like it. But when I was looking at this one, and he said, "Do you know who that is?" And
yeah,
he said nobody's ever been able to no, it stumps everybody. And I said immediately, Masquerita Sagrada. If you don't know who Masquerita Sagrada is, he was a little fellow, very little fellow. And I think he was Max Mini, at one point too. When they bought.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Max Mini,
but I really like this mask, so I bought. He was selling them for $10 a piece, so I bought a mask. This. I never have ever heard about this game, Wrestle War from Japan for the Sega Mega Drive, and who was on the cover? Hulk Hogan, with a blue and yellow bandana that says SWA Titan Hogan Python Power.
Nice!
I'll never be able to play this game because it's a Mega Drive for Japan, but same on the cartridge as well.
You never know, you might be able to find this system.
Maybe, but it's got the Road Warriors on the cover. One of the Bushwhackers with a mohawk is on the cover.
Oh, that looks like Macho Man right there.
No, it's Bruiser Brody.
Oh, it is Bruiser Brody?
Stan Hansen. I don't know who that is, but Abdullah the Butcher's on the cover. But this, I've never seen this game before. So this will go on my Hulk Hogan shelf because I've said it before, but if you've never seen the show before, Hulk Hogan is who made me a wrestling fan. So this is going up on the shelf.
Let me tell you something, brother.
But this I've mentioned as a surprise for you that I I thought you would like that.
Yes, because you know how much I love Mikey!
But Michelangelo as the mummy, the Universal Monster Mummy.
Yes!
I thought that was pretty cool.
I absolutely love Mikey.
And to go with the Ninja Turtles theme, Turtles of Grayskull.
I love it.
Mutant He-Man. If I'm 43 years old, this is right in my wheelhouse. Ninja Turtles and He-Man mashed together. Can't beat that. This, I saw at work.
Lucha Dragon!
It's Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus.
And this came out like, this was like, I think, in the first wave of the figures.
Yeah.
So to find another one on the shelf, like, you know, that long later, I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And oh wait, we forgot to mention it's got Jack Perry on that.
Yeah, it's got, Jack Perry. Good for him. We'll talk about that when we watch Dynasty. This movie gets a lot of hate, and I don't understand. I think it's a very entertaining movie.
I love the third one.
If you're judging it on, yes, number one, and Secret of the Ooze, okay, but it was becoming, you know, the early 90s, and Goofy was kind of in. At least in this one, they went back to using their weapons. In Secret of the Ooze, they hardly even used their weapons. But the NECA, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Donatello and Raphael. Probably going to open these because I want to display them at some point. And then, of course, since I have those, you've got to complete the 4, Michelangelo and Leonardo. So
good thing I spotted those at Walmart for you, and I sent it right to you. Look what they came out with!
Yeah. NECA does good stuff.
Yes!
And this right here. 2 foot soldiers from Secret of the Ooze, but they wore the same stuff in both the first and the second one. But this comes with the weapons rack with the axes that they use in one. I kind of feel like they mislabeled this because those are exactly the way they look in the first one.
Yeah.
And they use the axes in the first one, so.
Yeah, they might have actually did do it.
Yeah. And then this, it was just a random one that I picked up. Malachi Black of AEW in the suit with, you know, his wonky eye.
Oh, that would be cool to get another Shredder.
I have a Shredder.
I want to get Shredder.
And then this, the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, where you can build a Lex Luger figure. I have no desire.
This is pre-Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Pre.
Well, no, it was when he was Hollywood, but...
No.
Yes.
This is
yes. I know what I'm talking about. I was around then. This is not when he was doing the Dungeon of Doom thing. This is right when he turned. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You start with me. I will knock you out.
Well, set it aside the video game episode, damn it!
And then my favorite wrestler of all time, The Undertaker, from the Monday Night War. The face on this one is really good. Sometimes they do crappy ones.
You wait until you see half the stuff I created with the wrestling game.
You show me everything that you create with the game.
I know!
And then this, the Scott Hall, when he comes down on the Monday Nitro, where he comes out and just interrupts the show, takes the microphone and says, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Good stuff, you know, and it really kicked off the Attitude Era. You can say when, you know, like... after when, you know, Austin says Austin 316, but in my opinion, that's what kicked off the Monday Night War. What really kicked it off was Scott Hall coming down, but...
excuse me.
Well, that was great. Did you see that Santana and Broken Matt Hardy went back to TNA?
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about the Matt Hardy thing. It's going to be good for him to be his character again, I guess. Yeah. But I think it's time. Jericho, time to go. Matt Hardy, time to go. Jeff Hardy, time to go. Sorry. If you've watched anything with Jeff Hardy, he can hardly do any of the moves anymore. If you watch Dynasty with Jericho against Hook, That was hot garbage, let me tell you. And I see people saying, oh, well, you know, Hook isn't a good wrestler and all that. If you're laying that match on Hook, you did not watch that match whatsoever. And when the crowd's chanting, go home, Jericho, go home, you know, and Matt Hardy, to be honest, hasn't been good in a while. And I've gone to a lot of indie shows and I've met Matt Hardy a couple of times. Great guy, great wrestler, but at some point, just, you know, I say the same thing for Tommy Dreamer. Like, I like Dreamer, but he should have been gone a long time ago. You know, and that's not throwing shade on these guys, but I get that, you know, the crowd is a drug. You know, performing is like a drug to these guys. But at some point, just please, you know, Raven's not wrestling anymore. Sandman's not wrestling anymore, you know. Ric Flair had his last match and he's not wrestling anymore. Sting just retired. He's not wrestling anymore. Undertaker, you know, he chokeslammed Rock at WrestleMania, but
he did say that was clarification for him.
Yeah,
that
he said it was closure, yeah.
Yep.
He's got a good podcast, by the way, called 6 Feet Under. If you want to hear The Undertaker talk like a regular dude, it's really, really interesting.
I really want to check it out. And should we plug something of yours?
No, because I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
The trailer is up, but I have not done the first episode because I've been busy. But there is something coming, and I appreciate you, you know, wanting to plug it. I'm doing something on my own that I've wanted to do by myself for a long time. Not that I don't enjoy doing this with him, but I've never actually done something of this nature on my own, and a passion project of mine. And
this is something for us to have fun right here.
Yeah, exactly. And this focuses on wrestling and all kinds of things. And what I'm doing is going to focus just on wrestling. So. Last night, the Dark Side of the Ring with Sherry Martel was on. Amazing episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
I wish that Hulu would do like what they do with Monday Night Raw, is do episode by episode, even if it's a day after.
Right.
But they won't.
It was really good. They showed a lot of good footage of Sherry, and I did not know she had a son. And she left her husband and the son at 3 months old to go wrestle.
Wow.
But the son is like, he's like, I'm not mad at her for it. And she became a mother to him later on, but she had her issues. She had lots of drug issues, and they go into that. Very good episode of Dark Side of the Ring. This season has been okay. I mean, the Bruised Beefcake one kind of for me. I'm really interested in the next one because it's Sandman, and that one I got the ECW, and I'll have to bring out the kendo stick, and you know.
Good thing I actually found this on Walmart. I found this.
Yeah, this is a really cool shirt.
The funny thing is, I ordered it and he ordered it on the same day, and they both got delivered on the same day too.
Yeah, and I've told him to stop sending me things because I'm running out of money.
Oh, you mean like the Sandman shirt I sent you?
Yeah, but yeah. But it was a good episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I really like Dark Side of the Ring. They do a good job. Sometimes the videos, like the dramatizations they do, seem unnecessary at the time, but, you know, if you've got Jim Cornette and Jake the Snake Roberts and Rockin' Robin and Medusa and all them talking, I'm happy.
I like hearing Jim Cornette once in a while.
Jim Cornette's great. I mean, I don't always agree with him, but he's passionate about what he says. He knows about what he's talking about. Even if I don't agree with his views all the time, I appreciate the analysis that he gives and the passion that he puts behind it. Now, when I listen to Vince Russo, I don't appreciate his passion because I know he's full of crap. You know, same with Eric Bischoff. I loved meeting Eric Bischoff. Really cool that he did a video for us, and that's going to be posted when we do an NWO episode. But his views on AEW sometimes I don't agree with. Same with Booker T. If Booker T gives an opinion on the wrestling business, chances are 99.9% of the time I'm going to disagree with him. You know, plus his commentary is horrible too. So,
his shucky ducky.
You know, yeah, but another bit of news: Jon Moxley is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and he's going to defend it on Dynamite tonight, actually. So that's pretty cool.
Speaking of the 80s,
yes,
Kamala,
great character, guy that really never made it until Jerry Lawler gave him this character, lived it, even when he became a babyface in the mid-90s, like 93, with the Reverend Slick as his manager. Good stuff. One thing, Kamala, they did a Coliseum video. I want to say it was Invasion of the Body Slammers, in which Reverend Slick was trying to teach Kamala how to bowl. And Kamala, he's saying you got to wear the bowling shoes, and Kamala's, and then, he's trying to get him to hold the bowling ball right and all that stuff, and he ends up dropping it on his bare feet because Kamala's always bare, and then at the very end of the video, Lord Alfred Hayes and Slick are talking to the camera, and Kamala's behind them with the bowling ball in his hand, and he bowls a strike while, and Reverend Slick flips out. And a great way to end the video. Good stuff. Coliseum videos were always good for that kind of stuff back in the day, so that's just a little Kamala thing for me. But I went to an XWA show. I did a table for our show there. He couldn't make it because he had to work. It was an not early afternoon, but it was like 5 in the afternoon. And with him getting out of work, there was no way he was going to be able to go. And he would have been exhausted, and it wouldn't have been fun for him anyways.
And plus, I would have still had to wake up the next morning for work again.
Yep. I really like the XWA shows. We're hoping to go to the one on June 1st. I requested the day off. I'm hoping we get it, and his brother Billy will be joining us, hopefully.
And are we doing the one in May?
They are not having one in May.
Oh, they're
not doing one in May. That's why the June 1st one.
All right.
So, these names you may not know, but they put their matches up on Google, and a lot of these guys you can find on Facebook. XWA is good stuff. Indie wrestling, we've said it time and time again, most fun shows I've ever been to have been indie shows. And these characters are entertaining characters. So, you've had fun at the XWA shows, right? So,
I want to talk about, because of the shirt, the one man that's truly started hardcore wrestling, Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and Abdullah the Butcher too.
Yes,
but yeah, that was good stuff. And actually, I was getting something to eat today, and I was wearing this. I was going out to get something to eat. And the guy was like, "Oh, ECW, that was the backyard wrestling. They were using light." No, they weren't using light tubes. But when it wasn't backyard wrestling, but it was hardcore. But he kept going, and I just agreed with him because I knew that if I tried to engage with him, it wasn't going to go well.
No.
So I just kind of let it go. But I loved ECW back in the day. I loved all wrestling back in the day. So. But
we still love wrestling.
Oh, I still do. It's getting better. It's a good time to be a fan. It really, really is. But
especially WWE. How long have we been waiting for it to get good again?
Thank God Vince McMahon is gone. That's all. And Kevin Dunn, too, because the production value is so much.
Oh, my God. I couldn't stand watching.
But the opening match for XWA was Pepe Le Poulet against the American Avenger. Pepe was screaming while he was choking the Avenger, like a high-pitched scream. It was pretty funny. First time seeing the Avenger, he was pretty good. Kind of got a Patriot feel. I think it's funny that the USA chant still works, especially when, I get it, Pepe Le Poulet is supposed to be French, but it just, you're in a small town, and you're in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, like, this isn't Hacksaw Jim Duggan doing it in Boston or Madison Square. It just, I think it's so funny that the USA chant still works, and when they have the Russian, Victor Vonko there, it really gets the crowd going. The fact that the foreign bad guy still has any weight to it, I don't understand.
Especially the Russian stuff.
Yeah. The Avenger won with a kill switch. Good match. Guy named Sweet Cheeks. He came out with like a fur coat that was lit up, kind of like one of Jericho's jackets, and he was throwing candy to the crowd, and it was.
Oh my God!
He wrestled Fox Vineyard. Sweet Cheeks walked the rope and did an arm drag off the rope. That was pretty impressive. Crowd was into both guys. Sweet Cheeks has a great spine buster. Fox is always good, and Fox ended up getting the win. He was, he was World of Hurt champion. I don't think he was XWA champion, but you go to so many of these shows, they kind of blend together sometimes. Yeah. The Music Man, one of my favorites is the Music Man with Hardbody Harlow. Hardbody Harlow was supposed to wrestle, but her opponent didn't make it to the show, so she ended up being the manager of the Music Man. Did a great job. She cuts a great promo about being undefeated. Good stuff. The Music Man's singing got cut off by Shockwave the Robot. Google Shockwave the Robot. Great stuff. I mean, he has like a thing on his, kind of like Buzz Lightyear has the thing where he pops it open and he communicates. But this kind of powers up Shockwave the Robot, and he goes like this, and it's great. They did a dance-off. Great. Music Man can dance, I got to admit. Music Man can dance. It was really good, really entertaining. Kind of reminded me of like Tracy Smothers back in the day, getting dance-offs going and all that stuff. Good stuff. And then Shockwave won with a neck breaker, and then Shockwave danced again, and he strutted and danced with little kids in the ring. Great stuff. This is my first time seeing Blaze Haram. Really, really cool. He wrestled Jeff Nova. He said he'll give $1,000 to any opponent that can break his camel clutch. USA chants again. He did a wicked clothesline and to set up the camel clutch. Jeff Nova did a lot of good high-flying stuff. It was a really well-done match. Blaze Haram won with the camel clutch, and he wouldn't let it go, and the American Avenger made the save. So I'm assuming they're going to go with the American Avenger against Blaze Haram. I'm cool with that. It was an entertaining match. Rando, what?
Can we go back to the casting for the Iron Claw? Because they did a fantastic job with the Freebirds.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. Yeah. The guy for Bruiser Brody, I think, could have been bigger, or at least they could have made him look taller. Some of the casting was really good, and some of it was really bad, but great movie nonetheless. So, let's see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yes, you did, you liar! You do it all the time.
Sorry, I'm kind of zoning out into watching.
Yeah, I know. I'm the only one that's doing anything, so that's fine. Justin Rando against...
I'm sorry, it's not my fault that you put something good on.
What are you saying? I put crappy stuff on all the time?
No, this is actually good. I like watching this kind of stuff.
Oh my God. Can I go on now?
Maybe.
Justin Rando against Brandon Smith. It was great to see a backslide and a double clothesline. That's old school stuff. Rando won with a code breaker. And then it was time for the main event. The Slam Burglar against Lumberjack Sharp for the XWA title. Slam Burglar came in as the champion with Mikey Cheese as the referee. If you don't know who Mikey Cheese or the Slam Burglar or Lumberjack Sharp is, Google him, kids. It's a wonderful thing.
Cheese!
Yeah, Mikey Cheese is tremendous. Great dude. Slam Burglar comes in as champ. Great gimmick. He kind of creeps around like the Repo Man and good stuff. He rolled into the ring and then rolled out and then snuck into the ring. Such great stuff. And he got, instead of saying, from wherever, the announcer said his last known whereabouts. Such great stuff. One old school thing I loved seeing, a double clothesline that led to, the 10 count, the mandatory 10 count. Love that stuff. Slam Burglar tried to win with an earthquake splash. Mikey got knocked down, and then Slam Burglar used a foreign object and retained. And then when Mikey Cheese went to raise the Slam Burglar's arm, the foreign object fell out, and Mikey Cheese saw it. He didn't reverse the decision, but he gave a stunner to the Slam Burglar. Really entertaining match, and it's going to lead down the road to the next show where Mikey Cheese is going to wrestle in a tag match, I believe with Lumberjack Sharp against the Slam Burglar and another partner. I don't know who the other partner is, but I love these shows. I love going. I mean, we traveled to Massachusetts for them. It's a couple hours. I did the table, gave out a few, business cards, had a good time.
Shook a few hands, kissed the little babies.
No, I'm not the Bushwhackers. I ain't licking babies. Just saying. But you definitely couldn't do that today. Just so we are hopefully going to go to the one on June 1st, and we will have a review on that. Why don't you talk about what you've been doing on the game lately?
Oh, mostly just recently created Eddie and I hope 2K does this before long. Eddie Guerrero from 05.
Yep, he's talking about the 2K24 game.
Yep. Eddie Guerrero from 05, my favorite. I'm your pappy.
Yeah, Poppy.
Poppy.
But whatever. You're here nor there. Pappy, Poppy, tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
And you've showed me some of the arenas you've made with our logo on it, which we will be debuting next time we do a video game episode.
And I did 2 championship belts.
Yep.
2 world title belts, and I'll let you choose which one you want to do for the world title.
They were really cool. I haven't played the game very much, only when he's brought it over so we can play. I love the graphics on it and the fact that you can use our logo to create something.
I'm glad I finally found that out, how to do that.
Yep. So it's really cool. I don't really have anything else, but I will be going to a show this weekend. He will not be able to go with me, which is kind of a running theme lately, but, stuff happens, life happens,
I wish that they would do the every other weekend. It feels like every time I have to work, that's when they have something going on.
Right. And this was kind of not a last minute thing, but it was something that I hadn't anticipated. An independent wrestler that I first met in 2010. It was actually my first independent show that I ever went to in Fort Edward at Fort Edward High School. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was in the main event, and the wrestler's name is Brian Anthony. Great wrestler. Had a lot of great matches with Matt Taven in Northeast Wrestling. Matt Taven is in the Undisputed Kingdom on AEW right now, one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. I've seen Brian Anthony in a lot of great matches. Wrestled Jeff Hardy in a casket match. Great match. Him and Bull Dread were a good tag team. Bull Dread is a really cool dude. Hopefully we can interview him. I might ask Brian Anthony if we can interview him at some point. But this is going to be his retirement match. And I haven't gone to a Northeast Wrestling show in a few years, to be honest. And I used to go all the time. I used to go probably every couple months. I was going to Northeast Wrestling shows. And I can't wait to go to this. Tickets are really scarce for this. Like, it's all bleacher seats, and they're not really together. So I'm probably just going to stand on the floor to watch this match. But he's going to be wrestling in a street fight against his former manager. I'm really happy that I'm going to be able to go to this because there's not a lot of opportunities for you to see the retirement match of somebody that... You're right there, Tanuki Mario, my favorite Mario right there. That you get to go see the retirement match of a wrestler that you really admired and you really enjoyed his matches and enjoyed your interactions with him. He had a group, he saw the Anthony Army, and his colors were lime green, and I always made signs like Anthony Army for life and stuff. And at one point, if you watch some of the matches that he had a cage match with Matt Taven, and after the match when he won the title, he grabbed my sign and held it up as he was leaving the ring. So that to me was really cool. I mean, so I'm happy that I'm going to go see his last match. La Resistance from the WWE, formerly from the WWE, all three of them, Rob Conway, Sylvain Grenier, and Rene Dupree, are all going to be there, and there's going to be a super photo op for $100 with all three of them. So.
Oh, damn, now I really wish I was going because I wanted to meet them.
Well, I'm sorry, but, life has to come first.
I know.
So. I don't know if I'm going to stay for the whole show if Brian Anthony's not the main event. Matt Riddle's going to be wrestling too. And Mustafa Ali is going to be there as well, wrestling. So, but I don't really care if I see Matt Riddle wrestle. I've seen him on WWE. I might stay if Mustafa Ali is kind of semi-main event. But if Brian Anthony's not the main event, it's a little over a 3-hour drive, so that means 6 hours total driving time. I'm going to be exhausted by that point, so I might not stay for the whole show. I'm not saying I won't, but their shows usually last until 10:30, so that means I'm not going to get home, till almost 2 in the morning. Maybe even after, depending on traffic and all that stuff. Especially in Connecticut, you never know. It's going to be in Danbury, Connecticut, by the way. Northeast Wrestling, great stuff. They've got streaming, I believe, and you can download their stuff. I don't know if they still sell their DVDs, but... I saw, at one of their shows, Daniel Bryan wrestle Shelton Benjamin at one of their shows. And it was at the point where... Remember when the Nexus debuted?
Yes.
And Daniel Bryan choked... Justin Roberts with his tie, and that got Daniel Bryan released. Well, when he was released, he had booked the date with Northeast Wrestling, and then he got brought back to the WWE and won the U.S. title. Well, he wanted to fulfill that date, so I got to see Daniel Bryan as the U.S. champion while he was under contract with WWE wrestle Shelton Benjamin at an independent show. That's something cool that I'll always have, and I got him to sign the inside cover of my WWE encyclopedia, so every time I open up the cover of that encyclopedia, I can see that autograph and remember that I had that experience. Just something really cool. I've had a lot of cool experiences. I'm going to talk about Northeast Wrestling more at some point, and I want you to go to one of their shows.
Hell yeah.
Maybe later this year we can do one because they do put on good shows. But I don't know a lot of the wrestlers that they have now. But I would like to go and see, their shows now. But I really enjoyed back in the day because they had some really entertaining people, like Bull Dread, like Ron Zombie.
And Sasha Banks for one of them, wasn't it?
That was CTW.
Oh, that
wasn't. But it's Connecticut. A lot of their wrestlers. They're doing a Hall of Fame because Brian Anthony is getting inducted into their Hall of Fame the night before. And Velvet Sky is getting inducted in their Hall of Fame the night before. And the Man Scout, Jake Manning. If you don't know who Jake Manning is, I think he does the merchandise for AEW right now, but he used to do the merchandise for High Spots as well. Great gimmick. He's basically a grown-up Boy Scout. And he would during the match, he would refer to the Scout handbook, and he would tell the referee no eye gouging and no back raking. And that's what he would do during the match, when the referee wasn't looking. Great stuff. He's getting inducted in their Hall of Fame as well. I'm not going to that, but they're doing a whole dinner and all that stuff. So Velvet Sky's getting inducted and Brian Anthony. I really hope if you, check out some of the stuff, because what's it going to hurt to watch 15 minutes of an independent match to learn about a wrestler that you didn't know? When we went to the one show where we saw the Stepdads.
Yes.
I wouldn't have known about the Stepdads.
And they were very entertaining.
They are a very entertaining tag team. We wouldn't know about a lot of the wrestlers that we like. Mikey Cheese, if we didn't go to independent shows, I wouldn't have known who he was. But he's very entertaining. The Politician, guys like that. The Music Man, with XWA. I love independent wrestling. And it goes to show you that the business is really viable when you can find an independent show pretty much anywhere you go. I mean, maybe not like in the Midwest states like North Dakota. You might not be able to find an independent wrestling, event. But I can pretty much guarantee any major city in a state has a wrestling company dedicated to it. That goes into high school gyms, and Masonic lodges where XWA does their shows. But I mean, we're in New York. I get so many notifications of independent wrestling events through my Facebook all the time. And we just don't have the time to go to a lot of them. Like the same day that the show I'm going to, Dynasty is doing a show that's a local promotion here as well. They're doing a show in like right down the road from us, like maybe an hour down the road from us. But I had already made the commitment to go to this other show. But that's on a Saturday. 2 promotions within a couple hours of each other are running independent shows. Like that's just and like a state like Florida. When I went on my vacation and we're driving to dinner, and I just all of a sudden I see an LED sign saying wrestling on Saturday. So what did I do? It's my vacation. I went to an independent wrestling event and spent $15 and had a fun night. Yes, WWE is fun. Yes, AEW is fun. Yes, Impact is fun. Yes, I'm sure Game Changer. I've never gone to Game Changer, or New Japan or any, going to WrestleCon and seeing that. But seeing an independent show to me is the most fun you can have.
Yes.
So before we wrap it up, you got anything else?
I do not.
You don't? Well, that's par for course with you. So. You were more engrossed in the video behind us. So.
Sorry, yes, because I like watching documentary stuff like this.
I do too. I'm sure we'll have more with him next time. When we'll have more stuff to review as well. So because I'm going to get him the video of.
I got to give you back all your flash drives.
Yes, you do, because I'm running out. Thank you for checking us out. CheapPopShow.com, CheapPops.redbubble.com for our merchandise. Got our really cool logos. Our Double Dare logo. We have a new Macho Man inspired logo that I will be posting. A Blow Pops inspired logo that says Cheap Pops. That is really, really accurate.
Yes.
I really love.
Make sure to send me some of the new logos and I can upload them and make them into our arena.
Yep. So, Learn how to talk. CheapPops.redbubble.com for our merchandise.
Merchandising.
And at Cheap Pop Show on all the social media. I mainly do us on Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm still going to call it Twitter.
Fire-breathing Twitter machine.
Yeah, so just at Cheap Pop Show for all our updates. Hit the subscribe button, if you like the show, because we try to get these out once a week. It doesn't always happen. It didn't look like it was going to happen today, but luckily it did. So this has been kind of a short one, and we still stretched it out to 48 minutes of me just friggin' rambling. So,
thanks for reminding me about rambling.
Okay.
And I was going to go on a rant about this.
No swearing.
People calling wrestling fake.
All right.
Yes, it's predetermined. But you're putting your life on the line every time you step in that ring.
Yep.
Because any little simple move, your career can be done like that.
Yep.
Perfect example, Mike Von Erich. Simple shoulder. Look what happened.
Ended up with toxic shock syndrome. Yeah. I mean, well, you can't ask him anymore because he died, but Draws, who, broke his neck in the ring because of an accident. A guy like Hulk Hogan, who's had, so many back surgeries because of landing on his tailbone for years.
Kevin Nash, just simply walking across the ring and boom, his quad.
Yeah, Triple H,
Yep.
As much as I hate Vince McMahon, tore both of his quads jumping into the ring.
Yep, and, Rey Mysterio had surgery, God knows how many times on his knees.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't much of a rant, but I get, what you're saying. It just...
I said I might go on a rant.
Yeah, no, but I understand it, where people think it's fake. I think that's a horrible word.
Yes.
Like you said, predetermined, yes. I don't even want to say scripted. It's not... No. Because they do a lot of the stuff on the fly, but I've been in a ring, I've helped put up a ring. It's hard.
And you've taken bumps in the ring.
And yes, well, not much, but a couple. But, I mean, it's wood planks on top of steel with a thin mat on top of it.
Very thin mat.
Time after time after time after time, and you're not always landing on flat on your back. There's times where you're not landing right. I mean, The Undertaker has, replaced hips, replaced knees. Mick Foley can barely walk a lot of the time because, I saw a video today of Rob Van Dam getting interviewed, and the woman said, "Is this your first concussion?" And he said, "No, I've had hundreds." And she kind of chuckled like he wasn't serious. And he said, "No, I've had hundreds." A guy like Bryan Danielson, who thought his career was over because of concussions and stuff. Edge, who had neck surgery. Randy Orton's had neck surgery. Sheamus just came back from neck issues. Arn Anderson, permanently disabled because of, his in-ring career. We talked about it before. Roddy Piper with, the metal hip. Scott Hall, I believe, had hip surgery at one point before he passed away. These guys don't have a retirement plan. They should.
They really should.
I think they should have a union. I think this independent contractor stuff
is gone way too far. Too long. Sorry, way too long.
Kind of off the topic, but I did see a report that the Federal Trade Commission, I don't know how true this is, but said that they can no longer have non-compete clauses. So wrestlers will be able to go wherever they want as soon as their contract is up. That's game-changing as far as keeping secrets of guys jumping from company to company. You could have it, just like Lex Luger did, you could have it the next night.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. But, yeah, the sacrifices that wrestlers make to entertain people. UFC fighters, they get injuries, but they don't get near the amount of injuries that wrestlers do. Football players, they get injuries too, but I don't believe it's to the degree that wrestlers do. And that's why when you see, sports stars go into wrestling and wrestle matches, they talk about how much respect they have for the business. And maybe not somebody like Ronda Rousey, because she spent so much time in it and she just never really cared to begin with.
And half the time they were babying her.
Yeah, but like Lawrence Taylor, when he wrestled Bam Bam Bigelow, people had to hold him up at the end of that match because he was so gassed out and he could hardly breathe.
And Bam Bam carried him through most of it.
Yeah, and Bam Bam weighed like 200 pounds more than LT did, and, people would consider Lawrence Taylor a better athlete than Bam Bam Bigelow. Well, guess what? Bam Bam Bigelow was standing and wasn't breathing heavy, but Lawrence Taylor had to be carried out of the building. So, but like guys like Steve Mongo McMichael or, Dennis Rodman, they talk about their experiences and what great athletes they are. A guy like Logan Paul.
I was just going to say Logan Paul.
Or Pat McAfee, that's had Bad Bunny.
Yep.
Great respect for the business, but knows what the wrestlers go through. So I will forever rail against people that call it fake.
Yes.
I've had family that have asked me, why do I still watch it? Knowing that it's fake. And then I say, it's not fake, it's predetermined. But I think I said this on the last episode. You want comedy, you can get it in wrestling. You want action, you want drama. You want, hell, with Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, you want horror.
Yes.
You want blood and guts. Anything you want, you can find it on a wrestling event.
It's very entertaining.
It really is. And I can show a match to somebody that does not like wrestling, and I can probably get them, even if they don't like wrestling, I can get them to like one particular match.
Yes.
I can show them the Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker and Mankind, where he throws him off the top of the cell, And they may not understand, but they're going to be mesmerized by the sheer spectacle of that. Anywhere I've ever worked, anywhere, any job I've ever had, I have been able to find a wrestling fan working at that job. And I would say probably for you, that's probably true.
Yep. One of the nurses that work up on one of the floors, him and I talk about wrestling constantly, and video games.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there's several different floors that I work on that we constantly talk about wrestling and video games.
And I was working the frozen section, and we're breaking down a pallet, and the guy I've talked to the guy, but I didn't know he liked wrestling, and he just out of the blue says, what did you think about WrestleMania? I had never talked to this guy about wrestling at all, and now anytime we see each other, he's asking me my opinions of what happened the week before or a couple days before. It's really, really great. I think wrestling fans are the most loyal, passionate fans. And yes, they're crazy. There are crazies. Yes, there are people that make me hate sometimes being a wrestling fan because they're so stupid and they're so ignorant, and the things they say make me want to punch them in the face.
Yes, like the one, and I'm not even going to mention it. You know who I'm talking about with that tweet that he put out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it just... And there's the ones that, they say stuff about the women and all that stuff.
And those are the ignorant ones.
Or the ones that ambush wrestlers at airports and parking garages and stuff like that.
Even signings, they do it too.
Yeah, but for me, I hope I'm the kind of fan that wrestlers can appreciate. I don't go overboard. Do I critique it? Absolutely. Are we doing that with this show, giving our reviews and our thoughts on the business? Absolutely. But I will forever enjoy it as long as there's a good product out there.
Yes.
I watched it in the mid-'90s when The Goon and T.L. Hopper and, Freddie Joe Floyd, who was Tracy Smothers, who was a great wrestler, but put in a horrible position. And you had Mantar, and I still enjoyed it for what it was. I could find, Bret Hart against the 1-2-3 Kid could have an amazing match. Or Bret Hart against Hakushi. Or you could just the Heavenly Bodies against the Steiners. Choose certain things that you could get enjoyment out of, and then you could bypass the crap that was there.
And it was the same thing until now with WWE.
Yeah, WWE has done crap stuff. When they relaunched ECW, they had the zombie on the first episode. They've done awful stuff, but I can find great stuff in anything. There are points now where I think AEW is slipping, but then they do the Dynasty pay-per-view, and
they're right.
Yeah, I feel like the movie Dumb and Dumber. Just when you think you could, I think you couldn't get any dumber. You do something like this and totally redeem yourself. That's the way I felt about AEW for a little bit. Because I think they need a hard reset, but then they do certain things that I enjoy. So it's weird. But I will forever be a wrestling fan as long as there's good things to like about wrestling. And we will continue to talk about it until I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Right.
And he can do a show on his own. But I enjoy doing it with him, even though sometimes I don't like him. But
oh, you love me, don't lie.
You keep telling yourself that.
Are you talking to yourself over there?
Yeah. Thank you so much for checking this out, even if you're just checking it out for the first time. Anybody that has subscribed and watches this regularly, thank you very much for that. At Cheap Pop Show, cheappops.redbubble.com and cheappopshow.com. Thank you very much for checking us out. Why don't you take us out this
Pop guys out.